أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قاف والقرآن المجيد بل عجبوا أن جاءهم منذر منهم فقال الكافرون هذا شيء عجيب أإذا متنا وكنا ترابا ذلك رجع بعيد قد علمنا ما تنقص الأرض منهم وعندنا كتاب حفيظ بل كذبوا بالحق لما جاءهم فهم في أمر مريج.
Alhamdulillah, wassalam ala Rasulullah. There was once upon a time, there was a man who was a very religious man and he was a priest. And at that time, there was a war going on. And there was the three brothers who had a sister and they didn't trust no one to look after her. So they decided to go up to the priest and ask him if he could look after her. He said no. And then the day after that, Satan came up to him and whispered into his ear and said, "What type of man are you to leave a helpless young woman to be left with an evil man?" So the next day, he went up to the three men and asked, and he said, "Yes, I will take your little sister on one condition. Across the river, there's this little house. I'll keep her there and I'll bring her food every day and knock on the door and I'll leave it there." So they said, "Okay." So over the next few weeks, he kept doing that, and then Satan came again, and he whispered into his ear and is like, "What type of man are you to leave a woman in a house trapped and she cannot have no fresh air or nothing?" So he was like, "Fine, I'll let her have fresh air. So I will leave the basket at the front of my door and she'll come collect it." And then after a while, again, Satan came again, and he was like, "Why don't you talk to her? She kind of feels so lonely." So he accepted again. So after a while, he would start talking, start laughing with her. They started joking after a while, and then it got to a more serious level where he had a child with her. So he got afraid and he thought about his reputation and what the brothers would do. So he killed her and he killed the baby. So after the war, the brothers came back and asked what happened to where his sister was, and he was like, "Unfortunately, your sister died from an illness." So he showed them a fake grave with her name on it, so they believed him. But one of the brothers didn't. So over 3 days, the brother had the same dream. Satan came in his dream and showed him where his sister was buried and what the man did to his sister. So he told his three brothers over 3 days, and they said, "Okay, we'll go and investigate." So they went to the same place and digged and found her body and the little son. So they went up to the priest, they caught him and took him to the king. So there, the king would hang him. So while he was waiting to be hanged or killed, Satan came up to him and was like, "Would you like me to save you?" And the man was like, "Yes." And then he was just like, "Just bow to me." But he's like, "How can I bow when I'm tied up?" He was just like, "Just do this with your eyes and I will set you free." And the man did that. And then the Satan was like, "I have been after you for a very long time, and finally, and this you have bowed to me." And then Satan disappeared, and that was the end of him. The man was killed.
في ساحة للعلم كنا نلتقي والحب والإخلاص زاد قلوبنا نمضي إلى نور اليقين ونرتقي قمم الفلاح وتاجنا أخلاقنا. في ساحة للعلم كنا نلتقي والحب والإخلاص زاد قلوبنا نمضي إلى نور اليقين ونرتقي قمم الفلاح وتاجنا أخلاقنا.